Denied access to a private jet. What happens next is a lesson you'll never forget. Stay with us because this shocking story will leave you speechless. Watch to the end to see how it unfolds. While you're here, subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're watching from. At Manhattan's exclusive private airport terminal, the atmosphere was as polished as the luxury cars that rolled up to the entrance. Distinguished travelers disembarked, destined for select locations around the globe. Among them was Jack Nolan, the president and CEO of Nolan Innovations, stepping out of a sleek black luxury van. Jack was on his way to London, where he was set to deliver the keynote speech at a major conference on technological innovation. His company, a pioneer in artificial intelligence, had revolutionized the industry, earning Jack recognition as one of the most influential entrepreneurs of his time. But Jack wasn't one for the limelight. Today, all he wanted was a smooth, discreet flight aboard his private Gulfstream G700 jet, the Horizon jet. He dragged his suitcase toward Hangar 14, where the aircraft awaited. As Jack approached, he noticed Victor Cole, the airport's operations manager, standing with the three-person flight crew. The crew included Adam Black, the overly confident pilot who wore his cockiness like a badge of honor; Lauren King, the aloof co-pilot whose icy demeanor often set the tone for flights; Olivia Drake, the flight attendant whose professional exterior masked an almost palpable disdain. Jack nodded politely as he approached, his calm demeanor unwavering. Victor, however, greeted him with narrowed eyes and a guarded posture. "Excuse me, sir," Victor said in a brusque tone, stepping in Jack's path. Jack paused, his expression showing only mild curiosity. "Yes? I'm afraid we can't allow you onto this jet," Victor continued, his voice clipped. A tense silence fell over the group as Jack stood there, suitcase in hand, trying to process what he had just heard. "What do you mean I can't board my own jet?" Jack asked evenly, though there was an edge of disbelief in his tone. Victor exchanged glances with Adam, Lauren, and Olivia, whose expressions ranged from smug to indifferent. "There seems to have been a misunderstanding," Victor replied curtly. "But we have strict protocols here, and I'm afraid you don't meet the requirements for access." Jack raised an eyebrow, his calm exterior beginning to crack. "You're telling me I don't meet the requirements for my own jet?" Olivia, arms crossed, smirked faintly. "It's nothing personal," she chimed in, her tone suggesting otherwise. Jack's gaze swept over the crew, judged, dismissed, humiliated. He exhaled slowly, his patience wearing thin. What they didn't know was that this moment would change everything. "This area is restricted. No access is allowed to unauthorized personnel," Victor said firmly. "I am here to board the Horizon jet," Jack replied calmly. "I need to get on now." Victor crossed his arms. "The Horizon jet is reserved for a very important client. You can't stay. If necessary, I'll call security." Jack frowned, trying to keep his composure. "I am the client. The Horizon jet is mine." Victor laughed disdainfully, exchanging a mocking glance with Adam and Lauren. "Sure you are," Adam scoffed. "And I'm the president." "Look, my friend," Victor continued coldly, "we have a strict policy against people sneaking into the hangar. You can't just say you own a jet." Olivia let out a sigh, muttering, "Typical." Jack took a deep breath. He had dealt with rejection before, but this was different. He pointed toward the jet. "Why don't you check the property records? My name is on the license plate." Victor ignored him with a wave of his hand. "I don't have time for games." Adam chuckled. Maybe he just came to take a picture with the jet or something. The crew burst into restrained laughter. Jack took another deep breath, fighting the growing frustration. It wasn't the first time he had been judged on his looks, but this time the circumstances made it feel more personal. He thought about turning around and calling his assistant to clear up the misunderstanding, but something inside him urged him not to take a step back. Jack took a step forward, keeping his voice firm but calm. "I ask you for the last time to check the jet's property records. You will see my name." Victor crossed his arms with a defiant attitude. "Look, I don't care what story you are making up. People like you don't fly jets like that. Now leave, or I will call security to escort you out of here." Jack's jaw tightened, but he held firm. "People like me? I heard you perfectly well," Jack replied coolly. "Only the authorized owners and their guests can be here." You don't belong. Adam, the pilot, leaned against the hangar door, smiling arrogantly. Let's not waste our time. It's probably some lost delivery boy. Olivia, the flight attendant, chuckled. Or some influencer who wants to take a picture. Jack looked at the jet gleaming under the hangar lights. His jet. The humiliation burned inside him. But he wasn't going to let the ignorance of these individuals determine the outcome. Enough talking, he said, pulling out his phone. We're going to figure this out now. Jack walked slowly to the edge of the hangar, phone in hand, struggling to keep control of his emotions. The sting of contempt was something he knew well, but today it hurt more than ever. He thought about how many times people like Victor, Adam, and Olivia had appropriated power that didn't belong to them, judging others by their appearance while hiding behind corporate politics. Jack glanced at the Horizon jet, the luxurious Gulf Stream that represented years of effort and sacrifice. It was not just a symbol of success, but a testament to decades of hard work, sleepless nights, and unstoppable determination. And yet there it was, reduced to nothing in the eyes of people who couldn't see beyond his appearance or simple attire. For a moment, Jack considered leaving. He could avoid the confrontation, call the airport administration directly, or have his assistant, Emily Carter, resolve the matter discreetly. But that would mean accepting the contempt without consequence, and Jack was done tolerating the disrespect. Clenching his jaw, Jack searched through his contacts and dialed Emily's number. Emily, I need you to send the complete documentation of the Horizon Jet's ownership to the operations office at Manhattan's private airport, he ordered firmly. Include a copy for the legal team as well. Emily didn't hesitate. I'll have it all ready to go in a few minutes. Jack hung up and put the phone in his pocket. This wasn't just about clearing up a misunderstanding. It was a lesson they would never forget. Let's see how they handle the truth, he muttered as he walked back to the hangar with a determined calm. Before Victor could continue speaking, Jack raised his hand and, turning to the surprise flight crew, said with cold kindness, "All of you, out of my jet, right now." Adam stammered, "Wait, no. We knew." "I told you who I was," Jack interrupted. "They chose to ignore me, mock me, and treat me like I'm worthless. That has no place in my company." Olivia stammered. "It was just a misunderstanding." "No, it wasn't," Jack replied. "It was discrimination, pure and simple." He turned to Victor. "You're fired immediately. Pack up your things and leave the premises." Security guards, now fully informed of the situation, escorted the disgraced team out of the hangar. Days later, at Horizon Aviation's corporate headquarters in Manhattan, the atmosphere was tense. Supervisory executives and key employees had been summoned to an emergency meeting. Rumors of the sudden layoffs of Victor Grant, Adam Steele, Olivia Hay, and Jessica Green had spread quickly, leaving employees nervous and expectant. Jack Steele entered the room with an imposing presence. His expression was serious and focused as he approached the podium, adjusted the microphone, and swept the room with his gaze, ensuring everyone was paying attention. "Good afternoon," Jack began in a firm voice. "I've called this meeting to discuss something far more important than the company's profits or growth." A dead silence fell over the room. Last week, at Manhattan's private airport, I was confronted with something completely unacceptable. Discrimination and utter contempt. Not as a CEO, but as a human being. A murmur rippled through the room as Jack recounted the humiliation he had suffered, the taunts, the refusal to verify his credentials, and the contemptuous treatment he endured. His tone remained controlled, but every word carried the weight of his experience. "This was not a misunderstanding or a procedural error," he said. "It was blatant discrimination, an abuse of power fueled by prejudice." He paused, letting the gravity of his words sink in for every individual present. "The individuals involved have been dismissed for gross misconduct. But this is not just about imposing consequences. It's about accepting our collective responsibility." His gaze swept the room, ensuring that each person understood the seriousness of the moment. "From this point forward, Horizon Aviation will implement mandatory training in diversity, respect, and ethical conduct for all employees." The room remained in heavy silence, the weight of real change hanging palpably in the air. Everyone knew that transformation was not just inevitable, it was non-negotiable. In the weeks that followed, Jack Steele implemented drastic changes at Horizon Aviation. New diversity and inclusion training programs became mandatory for all employees. The company also forged alliances with minority-led aviation firms, creating new opportunities and promoting equity within the industry. During a major aviation summit, Jack shared his story publicly for the first time. Leadership is not about titles or wealth, he stated. It's about taking action. You change a culture when you decide to speak up, especially when no one expects you to. His words resonated far beyond the aviation industry, demonstrating that true power isn't measured by what you own, but by how you choose to use it. Subscribe now for more powerful stories that inspire action and challenge perspectives. Have you ever experienced or witnessed a moment like this? Share your story in the comments below.